if you were to recommend something non-wrestling that you're reading or you're listening to or whatever today, movie, book, podcast, album, like what is a recent recommendation from John Pollock that is not wrestling that you would say, hey, go read this, go listen to this, XYZ?
Okay. I just finished reading Jeff Pearlman's latest book, The Last Folk Hero, on Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
This is one of the best, forget sports biographies, one of the best biographies I have ever read. It has, I have always had this belief, and you can appreciate this, Garrett, that you must watch a lot of sports documentaries. And it seems that the trend is the bigger the subject, the more you have to be sort of working with this person. Like The Last Dance is not happening without Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Derek Jeter. And whenever you see some of these projects, the immediate question is, well, is the subject involved? And that became the question here. And for those that have not, first of all, Jeff Pearlman, unbelievable reporter, biographer. So he was writing this book on Bo Jackson. He reached out to Bo Jackson, who politely declined to be involved in the book and said, I understand what you're doing. You have my blessing to do this book, but I am not taking part in it. And some people would view that as a negative. I feel the complete opposite, that for some of these projects, I would rather that the central figure not be involved. Now, you're giving up something when it comes to direct access to the subject, but Jeff Pearlman goes out. He did 700 interviews for this book. It is going to be the most comprehensive, unbiased view, good and bad, of Bo Jackson, who is this mythical figure that was a dual sports star in his heyday and a kind of before my time, but nonetheless, someone that had an unbelievable fame attached to him and sort of just went off into the sunset. And this book is so well done. And it's just sort of what I look now for documentaries, biographies, that I almost don't want to have that overarching involvement of the prime subject, because I don't want any punches to be pulled. I don't want like topics that are controversial ones that it's like, okay, we're going to address it, but are we really going to dive into like these topics? Because I don't want to upset the subject and then the project blows up. And it's kind of informed my thinking when it comes to a lot of these like bigger sports biographies and documentaries. But it's a fantastic book.
That's awesome. And because that one is on my radar. I hadn't prioritized it, but now based off of your recommendation, do they have it in a Audible? I would imagine it's got to be an audiobook as well.
I don't know if it probably is. It's about 400 plus pages, so it'd be a long read, but it's just so well done. And some of I don't know if there's anyone that does a better research job than Jeff Pearlman when you're talking about this level of numbers of interviews and the things he uncovers, and going to find high school yearbooks and speaking to childhood friends. Like this guy, there's no stone that is not uncovered of any person, it seems, that came into contact with Bo Jackson.
I've read many of his books, the USFL book.
That's a good one.
The Showtime book about the Lakers is now the basis of this series on HBO. And then also
he did I've read the Three Ring Circus one, but I have not read the Showtime one. I watched the series, but did not. But that one's certainly on my list. I haven't read all of his books. The Bo Jackson one would be my number one.
There's one on the mid 80s Mets as well, I believe, that I've read.
Yeah, he's done one on the Cowboys. I think he did one on Roger Clemens. Yeah, he's done a bunch. And of course, he was the reporter with the whole John Rocker story, which was massive story in '99 in Sports Illustrated.